Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, 3D Diggin' Dirt. This is David, and today we're going to go over Armorsmith design. This is a tool that I use to help scale my armor when I'm trying to make it. It does cost some money, it's $35, but it's a one-time payment and you get free updates whenever there is an update. Now, when you get into Armorsmith, you actually have to create an account. You can log in and then it'll take you through a step-by-step process to actually create your avatar that you can see here. This avatar, you actually measure yourself in a bunch of different ways, and you input all the data and it creates the avatar that's supposed to look very close to you so that you can scale the armor to your actual body. So, we have a few different places around here. We have the Workspaces area where you can get all of the pieces. You can import your STL files and then attach them to the body. You also have different tool information. So once you get the STL onto the body, it'll tell you what tool you're using, what you're actually attaching it to, and then the different property grids. So here you can see, as of right now, the only thing we have in the actual window is the avatar. So you can see the different measurements that we have here between the eye measurements, ear offset, neck circumference, so on and so forth. So it has all your measurements here, and you can actually change them here if you wanted. So what we're going to do is, I already have the helmet imported, but I'm going to now import another piece of my armor just to show you how that works. So I already have it over here. We're going to do, let's see, we're going to do the arms. So I'm going to select the arm. I'm going to only select the left arm for everything. And I'm going to import, and it's going to say, would you like to import these objects as a group? So I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to change the group name to left arm. And we'll say okay, and it'll start to import all the STL files for the arm. Now, one reason why I like to actually make sure that these are in a group is because, for example, with this file, the armor that I have for the Mark 6 War Machine, and they have a origin that's the same for all of the files. What that means is that when you import it, it will actually move the files into the location that they're supposed to be. So I can show you here in just a second when it finishes uploading or importing the files. You can see up here, if I click left arm, it looks like an entire left arm. And now I can say attach, and I'm going to attach it to the middle of the arm here. So as you can see, the entire arm is one. And I can actually rotate it by going up here and clicking rotate. And it gets you these three. So you have the X, Y, and Z, or X, Y, and Z. So you can rotate this to fit your arm better. That looks pretty decent, but now it's not quite in the right position. So again, X, Y, and Z, you can now move the armor wherever you need it. And if I'm right clicking here to actually move the avatar. So I can move the avatar, see where things need to go, change to rotate slightly, move it slightly. Okay, so I have it in a decent area here, but it looks like it might be a little too big. The other thing is, it looks like the actual arm here is at a slight angle, whereas the avatar arm, I'll show you on the other side, is completely straight. So we're going to need to do a couple of things here to try and make it so that it works out better. So first off, I'm going to hide selected. So it's going to hide the arm. It's still there, it's just hidden. And now I'm going to go up to avatar and I'm going to say edit pose. And I'm going to click on this and I'm going to rotate this arm just slightly, similar to the avatar. Okay, I always change it back to edit measurements. That way I don't accidentally move the avatar while I'm doing something. Now I can right click again and I can say unhide all. All right, so now the arm is back and that's looking a little bit better. I might still need to rotate it slightly here. Move it up just a little bit so it's better on the shoulder. Move it just a little bit in here. All right. So, from what I can tell right now, it actually looks pretty decent. One way to actually help and figure out if you really do have it decent is to come down here into the property grid and we can say opacity, and I'm going to change that to 0.5. So as you can see, it made the actual arm of the armor slightly transparent, so we can actually see the avatar arm in here. All right, so as you can see here, right there, the avatar arm is coming through the armor just a little bit, but we have a little bit of extra space in the elbow here. So I'm going to try and move the armor just a little bit. All right. So that's better, but as you can also see, if I zoom in, the hand should stop right about here, but it's up there. So I need to scale this down. Now, if I were to do uniform scale, that means X, Y, and Z would all scale the exact same. However, it's actually looking like, for the most part, the arm is at actually a decent scale. Maybe a little bit needs to come in right here, but not too much. So I'm going to go over to this section where it has scale. Whoop, you actually have to select the armor. And I'm going to change Z to, let's try 90. Okay, so now it's a lot shorter. I need to move it up. Move it in and rotate it just a little bit. Try and get that just about right. Okay, so now, as you can see, the hand is ending right about where it should. I'm going to rotate this just a little bit this way. There we go. So the hand is ending right about where it needs to end. Now, let's see if we can get it to fit onto the forearm and the bicep just a little bit more. My forearm and biceps are not quite as big as what the actual armor is showing. So let's see. I believe that's actually Y, so I'm going to say 95. Okay, that's better. Still not quite there, but that's pretty good. Maybe 93. But now my arm is sticking out, the avatar arm, so I'm going to move it. Still sticking out there, but it looks like I need to change the avatar. So I'm going to move the avatar, and that's not going to let me right now. Hold on. All right. we're going to hide selected. Now move the avatar a little bit more, edit measurements, unhide all. There we go. Okay, so that's looking much better now. All right, so I can go back and I can change that back to 1. Now it's a solid piece of armor. Okay, so we've done the left arm. Let's also do the helmet. So I can attach it. I'll put it right there. All right, so for whatever reason, it looks like my armor was actually created while it was laying down. So we're going to have to rotate it for 1. And I'm going to move it a little bit. Okay. So that's decent. It's not perfect. We definitely need to mess with it. But I'm going to try and show you something else that you can do. So if I select that helmet, I'm going to make everything really large. So I'm going to say 130. Okay, so it's really huge. That's not what I'm keeping it at. I'm going to change the opacity to 0.5 so we can see my head in there. And I'm going to try and center this as much as possible so that everything is about even. And now I'm going to right click, go down to scale parts, and I'm going to say shrink to fit. Now it usually takes a second. As you can see, it's trying to load in there. And what's going to happen here is it's going to shrink the helmet up until the helmet hits the head somewhere. It doesn't matter where, just somewhere. So now you have to completely center the helmet on the head to get it to work properly. But this can help you get the general sizing down, and then you can kind of mess with it a little bit more. So as you can see, it didn't go down too much. Went down, instead of 130 to 129.89. My head is not that large. So somewhere in here, the head ended up touching something. And you can try and scroll in. If you double click on a piece of the body, it'll actually zoom in for you. So you can try and zoom in and see if you can find what is touching. And it looks like it's right here. The neck is touching slightly. So we can try it again. I'm going to try rotating this just a little bit more. Just trying to get this as centered as possible so that I can go and shrink to fit and see what it says now. So we were at 130, now we're at 129.89. Let's see what it changes it to this time. So it's still trying to load here. We're getting it. It takes a little bit. It's trying to do all the calculations, slowly scaling it down. Okay, so it only brought it down to the 129.66. Again, my head is not that large. So let's try and do it ourselves. So let's say I do have a large head. So we'll say the Z is 110. And we had it on uniform scaling, so that meant that if I change Z to 110, X and Y also change. And that's not too bad, but as you can see, my neck is in the way. So let's see if we can change some stuff up just a little bit. I'm going to take off uniform scaling now. And I'm going to try to go 115. Let's see. For Y, so that brought it out a little bit. Nope, wrong way. So it's looking decent. It's not great. That's a little bit better. It looks like my cheeks are poking through here though. So you have to slowly move everything about, change it up, rotate it. The top of my head is poking through, so I need to move it up here. And you just kind of slowly, methodically keep going through and trying to change the scale up just enough so that everything fits. And you do that for each and every piece. So my suggestion, as I was saying, is to take the parts, large area parts. So left arm, left leg, right leg, the head, the chest, the abs, the hands, the feet, all of those being separate, but for each section, all the individual parts. You know, the arm here, the left arm, has all of these parts in it that I kept together. The helmet, all of these parts that I kept together. You could import them individually, but if you were to import them individually, then you have to even more methodically align all of the pieces up to fit with the arm, the actual armor arm, and then scale all of that to fit on the arm of the avatar. And I think that takes too long. So if you just combine them in here, I find that the best way to do it. If you take your time, you should be able to get an entire suit of armor that should fit you fairly well. You may still have to do small little adjustments here and there when you actually print it out. Cut a little piece off here, melt it down there, warm it up to bend it out here or there, but in general, it should fit you pretty well. So that's all I have for today. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will see you later. Bye.